Have you ever been in a conversation, maybe a disagreement, and suddenly you just feel this invisible force pulling you upward?
Oh, definitely.
Voices get louder, emotions flare up, and then before you know it, the actual point you were trying to make is just gone, lost in this whirlwind.
Yeah, completely lost. It's such a common thing.
It really is. And sometimes it feels like you're caught in this like unstoppable spiral, climbing higher and higher.
Hmm.
So today, our deep dive is all about understanding that climb. We're going to unpack this really powerful concept called the emotional escalator.
That's a great term for it.
Isn't it? We'll explore its different levels and crucially give you some, practical strategies to actually step off it and get back to a productive conversation.
Good.
Yeah,
Because getting off is the hard part.
exactly. And our insights today are mostly coming from this really thought-provoking article. It's called How to Stop Fighting, Step Off the Emotional Escalator.
Mm-hmm.
And it's by John Trent, who's a marriage and family counselor.
Right. And he offers a very clear, sort of actionable way to think about navigating conflict. It's useful stuff.
Definitely. So let's start with that core analogy, the emotional escalator.
It's striking how well it fits, isn't it? You're arguing, and suddenly it's like you've both stepped onto this thing.
Yeah.
It perfectly captures that rising intensity, the louder voices, the understanding just shrinking as you go up.
And the original issue gets left behind, right?
Right.
Down on the ground floor.
Exactly. Way down there. It's almost like the argument itself just pushes you upward.
That upward push feels so real. And the article points out, if you try to look back down, it's like you're blocked.
Blocked, yeah. By what?
Well, by layers of like similar fights from the past, maybe how your parents argued, all that kind of emotional baggage we all carry.
Ah, right. So it builds up. It makes you feel really stuck as you keep going up.
Totally stuck. And as you go higher, you lose focus on that original thing, the ground floor issue.
Mm.
And that's when you hit level 2.
Okay, level 2. What happens there?
This is where it gets personal. Instead of the issue, you start, attacking the other person. Verbally,
Right. So you might hear things, or maybe you even say them yourself, like, if you really took the time to think about it.
Exactly. Or if you really cared. Ouch.
Yeah, or even sharper ones, like if you were more sensitive, or I think the article mentions if you were more submissive.
Wow. Yeah, that definitely raises the emotional temperature. You're moving way away from agreement there.
Way away. So things are getting heated at level 2. Is there still a chance to, turn back? Or is it a one-way trip from there?
That's a really key question. And yes, the article stresses there is a kind of landing zone right there at level 2, a chance to turn around.
A landing zone. Okay, like an exit ramp.
Sort of. The author calls it repenting, not, in a strictly religious way, but more like making a conscious choice to change direction.
Ah, okay, a deliberate shift.
Exactly. It's your chance to step onto the down escalator, back towards the actual issue.
What if you don't take that chance? What if you keep going up?
Then you hit level 3. And this is where, honestly, it sounds pretty bleak. You're just tired. Tired of trying to make the other person see it your way.
Exhausted, probably.
Yeah. And the article says this is where you start questioning the relationship itself. Thinking, or maybe even saying out loud, things like, what am I even doing in this relationship?
Oh, wow. That's serious.
Or, I'm done trying to connect. I'm out.
That sounds like the point where emotional withdrawal really kicks in. Or worse.
It can be. It can lead to that withdrawal, maybe even physical separation or, legal action in some cases.
Yeah.
It's the top floor, basically.
And what's really interesting there, the article talks about how small things, level 1 things.
Like forgetting the laundry or the classic toothpaste tube squeeze.
Right, those little things. How sometimes they don't just lead to level 2, they shoot you straight up to level 3, skipping levels entirely.
Yeah, that's fascinating. How does that happen? Why does, leaving the garage door open suddenly become a relationship-ending crisis?
Well, the article suggests it's often because those level 2 issues, the personal attacks, the deeper hurts, maybe they were never really resolved.
Ah, so they fester.
Exactly. They build up this emotional charge. So past patterns, maybe pride, just carries all that energy upwards. A small level 1 thing becomes the spark.
That makes so much sense. It's not about the toothpaste. It's about all the unresolved stuff the toothpaste suddenly represents.
Precisely. It's the accumulation, the hair trigger response that's been primed by past conflicts.
But here's the good news, right? The article really emphasizes this. Even though it's easy to escalate.
You can always change direction.
Yes, you can always choose to step onto that down escalator. Humility, it says, makes a huge difference.
Humility is key. Okay, so if we can change direction, how do we actually do it? How do we step off? The article gives 3 ways, right?
It does. 3 main strategies. And the first one is don't be like Spock.
Huh. Okay, I think I know where this is going. The logical Vulcan from Star Trek.
Exactly. Mr. Spock prioritized logic over emotion, right? And the article points out that in real relationships, trying to ignore or dismiss emotions like Spock might, well, it usually doesn't land well.
Yeah, I can see that. Trying to logic someone out of feeling upset rarely works.
But is there ever a time when maybe a little detachment is helpful? Or is it always about engaging the emotion first?
That's a fair question. I think the article's main point is that emotions are fundamental to connection. Dismissing them is like dismissing part of the person.
Right.
It talks about this dynamic you often see. One person becomes the withdrawer, stepping back from strong emotions.
Maybe because that's what they learned growing up, emotions weren't okay.
Exactly. And the other becomes the pursuer, who kind of chases the withdrawer, trying to get them to re-engage emotionally.
And that just escalates things further.
Often, yes, because telling the emotional person to just calm down or be logical can feel incredibly invalidating. It might even trigger past feelings of being dismissed or abandoned.
So emotions aren't the enemy here.
Not at all. The article frames them as being for connection, not for blame. They're part of being fully human. Trying to suppress them just builds walls.
Okay, so strategy 1, acknowledge emotions, don't dismiss them. Got it. What's the second strategy?
The second one is to become a sportscaster.
A sportscaster, like play-by-play of the argument.
Sort of. Think about what good sportscasters do. They describe what's happening on the field, right? They offer perspective without getting, sucked into the game themselves emotionally.
Okay, so how does that apply to a fight?
Well, the idea is whoever realizes first that you're on the escalator, whether you tend to be the withdrawer or the pursuer, that person can actually name what's happening.
So like actually say it out loud.
Yeah. You could say something like, okay, wait, I know we were talking about the schedule, but I'm noticing we're both getting louder now.
Or, I feel like we've moved off the issue and started, pointing fingers. We're on level 2 here.
Exactly. Or, I see you're turning away and I'm raising my voice. Let's try and get back to level 1, back to the actual problem.
Just doing that verbal play-by-play.
It helps slow the whole thing down. It lets you name the dynamic, see it for what it is, and realize, importantly, that you can actually change it. You don't have to just keep going up to level 3.
That sounds really powerful.
Yeah.
But also maybe hard to do when you're actually feeling angry or hurt. How do you remember to become a sportscaster in the heat of the moment?
That's the challenge, isn't it? The article implies it takes, practice and self-awareness.
Yeah.
You have to develop the skill of noticing the escalation before you're completely overwhelmed by it, and then have the courage to actually say something.
It's an active choice then, not just noticing, but speaking up.
Absolutely. Which leads perfectly into the third strategy.
Okay, what's number 3?
Take a time out.
Right, the classic cool-down period.
Yes, but maybe with a bit more structure than just storming off. The article points out something interesting about that phrase. Do not let the sun go down on your anger.
Oh yeah, from Ephesians. People often take that to mean you have to resolve everything right now, before bed.
Exactly. But the article suggests that interpretation can actually be harmful, especially in that pursuer-withdrawer dynamic. It can feel like pressure, like the pursuer is chasing the withdrawer when they just need space.
Because some people need time to process, right?
Precisely. Many people, often the withdrawers, are processors. They need time to think things through, gather their thoughts, maybe understand their own feelings before they can talk productively.
Forcing it just makes them clam up more or get more upset.
Right. It increases the upset instead of resolving it. And this is where that really practical example from the author, John Trent, and his wife Cindy comes in.
The food court story.
Yeah. For 8 years, apparently, they deliberately paid their babysitter extra for an hour every Tuesday night.
Every Tuesday. Wow.
Every Tuesday. And they'd go to the food court at the local mall specifically to talk about any tough, emotional, level 2 kind of issues that had come up during the week.
So they scheduled their difficult conversations.
They did. They prepared for it, prayed about it, maybe sought advice, and really reinforced their commitment to each other first. It wasn't about winning, it was about connecting.
That sounds incredibly intentional.
It is. And it allowed Cindy, who tended to be the processor, the time she needed during the week to think things through. And it helped John, the pursuer, learned to slow down and not demand an instant resolution.
Because they both knew Tuesday was coming.
Exactly. They knew the issue wouldn't just hang there forever, it would be addressed. So they could actually go to bed, not angry, knowing it had a dedicated time and place.
That's a fantastic example of a structured timeout. It builds trust, not distance.
It respected both their needs.
Okay, so let's recap. We've taken this deep dive into the emotional escalator.
Understanding how arguments can climb from the basic issue up to personal attacks at level 2.
And even to questioning the relationship itself at level 3.
But crucially, we've also got these powerful strategies to step off.
Right. Strategy 1, don't be Pim. Embrace emotions. Don't dismiss them.
Strategy 2, become a sportscaster. Name the dynamic out loud to slow it down.
And strategy 3, take a time out, but make it strategic, maybe even scheduled, respecting the need for processing time, like that food court example.
Yeah. And connecting this to the bigger picture, look, conflict happens, right? It's normal, it's natural in any close relationship.
Absolutely inevitable, probably.
Probably. But the key takeaway here is that it doesn't have to be destructive. These insights give you tools to approach conflict differently.
Not as a battle to be won.
But as maybe an opportunity. An opportunity for deeper understanding, for growth, for actually strengthening the connection.
Building stronger bonds through the conflict, not just by avoiding it.
Exactly. Healthy navigation.
So, thinking about all this, what does it mean for you, listening right now? The next time you feel that familiar climb, that argument, starting up the emotional escalator, how might you first try to figure out, okay, what level are we on?
Identifying the level first.
And then, which of these strategies might you try? Would you focus on acknowledging the emotion? Would you try being the sportscaster? Or is it time for a strategic timeout?
Which one feels like it might work best for you in that moment to step off and find your way back to that ground floor, back to understanding and connection?
Yeah. What stands out to you is the single most impactful step you could take next time? Something to really think about.